Welcome to MMA on the Rocks. My name is Bill Welker. You are listening to Picks and Pours, episode 49. This is the segment of the podcast, or actually the only segment of the podcast for the time being, since I haven't been doing the regular Sunday episodes, where I bring on Matt the Mechanic to make picks for upcoming UFC cards, and we talk some hot takes, things like that. So let me introduce from all the way across town, Matt the Mechanic. What's going on, Matt?
Not much, Bill. Good. I'm a little sore. Got back into the gym this week it's been a while, but I've got a new intruder in my neighborhood, and I need to work on my grappling skills because I have a bobcat around my house.
Oh, I thought you said it wasn't a bobcat after all.
No, I'm pretty sure it was. I talked to a Florida Fish and Wildlife guy, and he's like, "No, you definitely saw one." Like, it wouldn't surprise him one bit.
So are they not that rare in this area then?
He says, no, they're not that rare. He'd say there's several dozen.
Several dozen, like in the whole Tampa Bay area, or
like Pinellas County. They run the so I live on like I don't know what the technical term, but a big those big giant ass power lines, the big towers.
Sure.
And he says they're native to here, and there's no, their only predators are coyotes. So humans don't take them, so of course they're gonna come back. And he was more concerned that I saw one, because they're very reclusive animals, and if he saw one, that might be under duress, which makes it dangerous.
And this was during the day?
No, it wasn't at night. I was walking my dog outside, and down the hill came this thing that looked like a puppy. I was like, "What the hell's that?" And he turned broadside to me, and he had like the hair that sticks out his neck and had spots. So
how big was it?
I mean, it was, I would say, 2.5 feet tall from the top of its head. I mean, it looked big animal.
Jeez.
It looked to me like when a very large dog is in that awkward puppy stage where they got those big paws,
yeah,
and the big head, kind of that size.
Like a young German Shepherd size.
Yeah, maybe like 8-month-old though, closer to a year. It was a big damn animal, and I do not want to mess with that thing.
So your solution is to get back into jiu-jitsu, huh?
Hey, I got to find the motivation somewhere.
You gonna pull a guard on a bobcat?
I don't know. Probably better odds than me trying to shoot a double leg.
You're gonna lasso guard it?
No, more like I'm going to get back in better cardiovascular shape so I can get the hell out of there.
Yeah, that's a better option. You don't want to just grab it by his whiskers, pull him into a triangle.
Yeah, I wish I could tame the thing. He was cool.
Well, I mean, crazier shit has happened. Look at the Tiger King.
I think he drugged those animals.
Oh, he definitely drugged those animals. But if you tame that bobcat, you gotta watch out, or Carol Baskin's gonna come after you.
Yeah,
she lives just a hop, skip, and a jump away from us, so she's probably listening now.
Is she in Pinellas County, or is she south of the Skyway?
Well, the rescue is North Tampa.
Oh, wow, she's really close.
Yeah, I think like Lutz area, somewhere around there.
I don't think I want to hang out with her.
Yeah, I mean, if she'd kill her own husband, imagine what she'd do to you. What is it, Florida Wildcat?
Bobcat.
No, I mean, Carol, Big Cat.
Oh, Tampa Big Cat.
Oh. Well, that's in Sarasota.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought she was on the other side of the bridge.
Oh, all right. All right, then. Gotta watch for her coming from the south, then. Okay.
Hey, how's truck life? Yes or no answers only.
how can I answer yes or no to how's truck life?
Yeah, I was making a joke about the confirmation hearings, but
Oh, um, I'm enjoying it. I like it so far. It's not like, really a truck, as you know, but it's cool. It's fun to mess around with. I've been playing around with the with the like electric hybrid modes and stuff to try and maximize the gas mileage. It's a little tricky, but been slowly figuring it out.
so you're not embracing truck life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I did pick up like some
I'm
big
trying to
sheets of
maximize my gas mileage.
I did pick up some big sheets of plywood on the way home the other day
Oh, that's good.
because there's like a short home place by me here, and they put out just scrap wood that I guess they mess up or they made some crooked cuts on. So, I popped open the trunk and threw those sheets of plywood in. They're gonna go towards my chicken coop.
That would be. It's called the bed, Bill. It's not a trunk.
All right, the bed.
This is gonna be like one of those. You seen those Instagram things where it's like one week living in Texas.
Yeah, 1 week driving a truck. It's a little erotic to call it a bed, isn't it?
Nope. Truck bed.
I don't know.
Trunk.
I know what goes on at these truck stops at night.
Well, the kind of trucks that go to truck stops, oddly enough, don't have a bed. So
They have them inside the cab.
yeah, that's called a sleeper.
Okay.
We'll get you all up on this terminology here.
Yeah, I
Bill.
got so much to learn. What's the secret knock you do on the bathroom stall in the?
Hold on. No.
It's a lie from Satan, brother.
it's just a regular knock, and you say, "Grab your britches."
Yeah.
All right. What do you want to start with? You want to start with the fights, or you want to start with the hot takes?
No, I don't have a hot take this week, but let's talk about get these fights out of the way. I
Okay.
don't think this is like you say you're having problems getting excited and being an MMA fan, and this is not going to help. I mean, maybe, but
There's some interesting things on this card, actually. Terrence McKinney's on the prelims. I find him exciting to watch. Shamil Gaziev is on the prelims as well. He can be a fun heavyweight. And then is the first fight on the main card Faraz Ziam against
Yes.
Mike Davis.
Mhm.
All right, so Faraz in his last fight, we saw him unfortunately knock out our buddy Matt Steamroller Frivola. This guy is like unusually lanky and flexible. He's listed at 6 feet tall, but this guy's bigger than 6 feet, isn't he?
Never met him.
Because Frivola is like 5'9", and he was towering over him.
I'm gonna be honest, Bill. I didn't even remember he fought Frivola, so I looked.
You don't remember?
Like,
You
I
don't
mean,
remember
now I do. I mean, of course, I just
Ray
didn't.
Longo calling out turn into him. When he turned into him, he turned right into the knee.
Of course, I remember that fight. For some reason, I didn't put much research into this card.
Oh, okay. Well,
I thought it was next week.
Coming off of that impressive knockout, he's getting in there with Mike Davis, who's on a 4-fight win streak. His last win submitted Natan Levy back in March. So it's been almost a year since he's fought. So do you have the odds?
Yep.
I would think Faraz Ziam slight favorite, maybe like a plus 170. I mean, a minus 175.
Nope, he's plus 120.
Wow. And what are the odds on Davis?
Minus 142.
All right. So pretty close line. Who do you like in this one?
So, well, first, we lost all $5 last time we made some picks on my knockout of Jamal Hill, which puts us at minus 396 for the year. But you did do your pay-per-view bet of Merab, which gets us back up to minus 271. With this fight, I'm just going to pick the favorite because I'm about to pick a bunch of underdogs.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're both on 4-fight win streaks. Honestly, this one could really go either way. It should be a pick 'em. All right. Then we have a bantamweight fight: Saeed Nurmagomedov against Vinicius Oliveira. The Nurmagomedovs, a little bit of trouble lately. Umar lost to Merab, and then what's his name? The other one had a controversial win over Paul Hughes.
Yeah, he didn't win that. Did you watch that?
No. Was it that bad?
I don't think it was that bad, but it was just, well, I mean,
Like
now
that-
that I say, I watched it and I thought that he lost, but I also, when I texted you when Merab's fight was over, and it was like I didn't even know who won that. I kind of thought Merab might have lost it, but apparently I was wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was over once after the third round. It didn't seem like
no. Is said Nurmagomedov? I don't think is he related to the other ones.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he should have like a little asterisk after his name.
Yeah, he is from Dagestan, though.
That must be like Jones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like Thompson over there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. What are the odds here? I would think Oliveira is a slight favorite.
No, again, he's the underdog. A slight. I mean, he's a
What?
slight favorite. He's a slight underdog at plus 136. Opposite minus 162. This odds didn't make sense to me. I mean, said hasn't fought in a year, and before that, it wasn't going the greatest. This kid is like a fucking killer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the underdog.
Yeah, Saeed was in there October 2023 was the last time he fought, and he was only in there for a minute. He submitted Muin Gafarov in a minute and 13 seconds.
I could be talking out of my ass, but I know Oliveira is a big ass bantamweight, and I thought that Saeed was the same way. So this fight someone might miss weight. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. So you're
But
going
Oliveira's
with
got
Oliveira
knockout power. Yeah, he's at knockout power at bantamweight. This is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of his last 4 he's won 4 in a row, and 3 of them are by knockout. So, what are the odds on Oliveira by knockout?
Plus 300.
Okay.
Plus 2,000 on submission. By submission,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I don't know if
just going to keep it.
I'm taking that one.
I'm not going to get greedy. I'm going to keep it at just the straight up bet.
Then we have the heavyweights, 2 heavyweights that have really both kind of had a fall from grace. Sergey Pavlovich and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Pavlovich seemed like he was going to be the next big thing at heavyweight. And that's kind of the same boat that Rozenstruik was in back in like 2019 when he came in to the UFC, knocked out Junior Albini, beat Arlovsky, beat Overeem. But then it was a rocky path ever since he got knocked out by Ngannou in 20 seconds. He's been hot and cold since then, but won his last 2. against Shamil Gaziev and Tai Tuivasa. Although the Tuivasa fight was really close. And Pavlovich on a 2-fight losing streak, but one loss was to the current interim champ Tom Aspinall, and then after that decision loss, he dropped to Volkov, who's been at the top of the heavyweight division for a while. I got to think, even though Pavlovich is on a losing streak and Rosenstruck's on a winning streak, that Pavlovich is probably still a slight favorite here.
Yeah, it's Pavlovich is minus 290, opposite Rosenstruck's plus 235. So
Wow.
with this fight, I mean, this type of fight to me is always a coin flip. So I'm just going to take Rosenstruck at the price.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's such a wide margin.
And Sergey Pavlovich, by the way, he doesn't need to fight. He can go to any movie set that they're shooting some sort of action movie, and he can be the villain. Like, this guy's terrifying. His agent is not doing a very good service.
I don't know. He does kind of have like a friendly baby face, though. Like, I know what you're saying. He's got the size and he's got the accent and everything, but there's like something friendly about his face.
I don't know, Bill. If you would ask me who the scariest guy in the UFC is, he would be at the very top of my list.
Really?
I mean, he'd be in the top 5, and then you just have to start like, well, how crazy is this guy? But he's definitely a top contender.
You know who's near the top for me?
Who?
Sharabutdin Magomedov.
Really?
This is a scary dude.
I think I would just run sideways.
I don't know, man. You have an easier time getting away from that bobcat. Sharabutdin is quick, man. I mean, he's got one eye. Like, anybody who has one eye and still is continuing to do this. And if there's anybody who can take advantage of a guy with one eye, it's Michael Venom Page.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make. Like 3 years ago, could you be like, hey, you think MVP would ever get sanctioned to fight a guy with one eyeball? And you're like, fuck no. Are you crazy?
Yeah. After he caved in a guy's skull who had 2 good eyes. MVP getting a little long in the tooth, and Sharabutdin undefeated. MVP not the most exciting performances. I wish they had kind of given him like somebody could just knock out off the bat in the UFC, like give him a little highlight to hype him up a bit, so that the casual UFC fans would know what we knew coming in. But very technical fights with Kevin Holland and Ian Gary, but nothing memorable. So he's coming off of the loss to Ian Gary. Magomedov undefeated. I don't know how the odds makers would put this one. If it were me making the odds, I would put MVP as a slight favorite. Though he is moving up in weight. So Sharabutdin's is the favorite because of the undefeated record, I guess.
Minus 210.
That's interesting. So MVP moving up to middleweight for this one. This is an interesting fight, man. I don't know. I mean, Sharabutdin is fast, but we know MVP is fast. But MVP's 37, and he's moving up in weight. Is he gonna be quicker because he's moving up in weight, or is he gonna be, a little bulkier?
I wish I knew what when he was fighting in his normal weight class, what he fought at fight night.
Oh, like what he walked into the cage at?
Yeah.
I would imagine fully hydrated. He probably walked in at 85.
Did you see Yuri on Rogan talking about how he was chugging water before weigh-ins to try and like put his weight up.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of it, and it just became too difficult to listen to.
Yeah, that's weird though. Well, he talks about moving down. Why don't he move down? Anyway, getting off track here.
Because it's a big. You're talking about 20 pounds. It's the biggest.
But he said he was 10 pounds under or whatever because he sat in the sauna too long.
Oh,
Which, by the way, who in the hell sits in the sauna too long and loses that much weight?
yeah.
His manager needs fired.
Yeah, somebody needs to look after that guy.
Yeah, he needs a little.
He needs a keeper.
I'm getting annoyed with Reggie. Hell, maybe I'll send Reggie his way. He can have him.
I forgot about Reggie. All right, so who are you picking?
I kind of want the Sharabutdin to win. I want to see this guy go to the moon, but I can't pick a guy with one eye and 3 fights in the big stage against Michael Venom Page at at plus money. This is a betting show. Sometimes we got to pick things that we don't think was going to happen, and like I said, if you explain this fight to someone 2 years ago, you're an idiot.
Well, I don't know if it sways your opinion at all, but he is 4-0 in the UFC.
No, still not. And it is weird though. I mean, this is another factor. MVP just got married last weekend, so I don't know how that plays into that.
All right, that's interesting. Do you think you should have invited Magomedov to be an eyewitness?
I mean,
yeah, where's the rim shot sound effect? Yeah. It's going to be tough because I think Sharabutdin's going to pressure MVP, and that's when MVP performs the best. Is when he's getting pressured. Like, that's what he likes. So,
I mean, Shara's talking about how he doesn't even think Michael has any power. He's a kickboxer. He just touches people. Obviously, must not have watched his fights, but
yeah. I mean, maybe he's just trying to hype the fight.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just.
I think he doesn't need to hype fights. He's got one eyeball and looks like a pirate. That's all he's got to do is walk around with an eye patch, and he can hype the fight.
Yeah, he looks like something out of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
like one of those orc monsters.
I said Yuri needs to fire his manager. I think this guy needs to fire his manager too. There's so much potential. Captain Morgan sponsorship.
There, yeah. Oh, he should have been at Gasparilla.
Oh yeah, wait, he's Muslim though. He probably can't.
Oh yeah.
Aren't they like making new? I've been seeing a lot of marketing for like no alcohol spirits. He needs to be sponsored for whatever rum is non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic rum. It's just sugar water.
I guess.
I don't know.
I saw that over the holidays. The big thing was mocktails.
Yeah. Yeah. All these young kids are not even drinking alcohol anymore. They're all doing edibles laced with fentanyl and drinking kombucha.
Yeah. Hey, what do you got about kombucha? I love kombucha.
Do you?
I have I get almost 2 every weekend.
It's all like I don't know. They all taste sour to me.
Yeah, it's because it's mold.
Yeah, sounds delicious.
I like it. Shout out Mother Kombucha, St. Pete.
We had a friend that would make his own, and he had a
mother culture.
he had a SCOBY. The thing looks like a jellyfish,
Yeah.
and you keep it in a jar, and it just reproduces,
Yep.
and you use that to ferment, just like tea bags or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Like,
weird. I've tried sourdough bread and I've tried kombucha, and both did not go well. I don't recommend it. Anybody at home to try it, just go buy the shit.
it's tricky. Yeah, I think you gotta buy like a sourdough starter that's like already done, and then you can keep using it, I think.
Hey, whatever you do, don't bring that up in our household. It's a sore subject. It blew up all over the kitchen.
Did it?
Yeah, I forgot to check it, and then I just opened it really fast, and it just went everywhere.
The dough?
Yeah, and it was bad, or it had already went bad. So
Oh,
it was
so
a
it's
sore subject.
stunk.
Yeah, because I played like a wimp and said I couldn't take it and made the wife clean it up. I
Was
just started dry heaving.
it must have been it must have been really sticking to everything too.
It was disgusting. I had my Oscar face on. I should have won an Oscar for that performance, but it worked. I got out of it.
Oh man. I would have liked to see this because I don't think I've seen you have like any kind of emotion on your face.
Oh, stop it, Bill. I'm pretty emotional tonight right now. I'm pretty amped up.
This is you amped up.
This is me amped up, baby.
You got a good poker face. All right.
Should try poker.
Man.
Anyway, we got a main event.
I'm gonna have to get Stacy's side of this story next time I see her.
She's giving me the stink eye right now.
Can she hear me?
No.
Oh, because you had headphones on. All right. So if you like sourdough bread, the place you have to go is Fat Beat Farm in Oldsmar. They bake it fresh there every day. And
I like old sourdough bread, but not enough to drive to Oldsmar.
Oh, okay. Well, how do you feel about fried chicken and biscuits?
Not for Oldsmar.
Still not worth a drive?
Hey, Bill, I've been taking some time off jiu-jitsu. I don't need no sourdough and
Fried
buy a
chicken
new
and biscuits.
belt.
Huh?
I had to buy a new belt.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're putting on some holiday weight?
Yeah. To be fair, I had to buy a new belt, but I had to buy the same belt. I still bought an A2 belt. But my belt has just shrunk so bad that
Your belt shrunk?
Dude, it was 10 inches shorter than the new A2 belt of the standard size when I got it and measured it. Because I tried to tie the belt on and I'm like, there's no way I can't wear an A2 belt.
Did you get the same brand?
No, I was freaking out. I bought it on Amazon. I got whatever the hell I could get from Amazon, but it measured out. But yeah, but I wash my belt every time I use it. So
yeah, so do I. My belts have never shrunk. Do you put it in the dryer too?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Anyway, I feel bad that I had to buy a new belt, but at least it wasn't an A3 because that would be bad.
Yeah. I guess washing belts and making sourdough are not in your not your fields of expertise.
Hey, I had my pepper belt for 2 years now, one stripe. I'm proud of it. Got another 3 years and I'll get a brown one.
That's the trajectory. Well, you haven't been training in months.
It's not that. No, I mean, it's been 6 weeks.
All right, a month and a half. I've gone to 3 jiu-jitsu classes this year. Oh, sorry, 4.
Oh, so I've been training more than you this year. So never mind.
Yeah. but I've been training other things. I've been sparring a lot more actually lately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just I don't know, I've been less interested in jiu-jitsu lately.
You seem to go through those spurts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll kind of volley back and forth. Then I'll get sick of Muay Thai for a little while, and then
Yeah,
I'll
you
show up
just go from Muay Thai to jiu-jitsu to wrestling, and I go from like jiu-jitsu to computer gaming to
sourdough.
watching movies, being lazy.
Sourdough bread. just sitting there buttering bread playing video games.
Yeah.
All right.
It gets rough.
Let's talk about the main event here. So the former middleweight champ Israel Adesanya against Nassourdine Imavov. So Imavov, I guess the young up and comer, but he had the loss to Sean Strickland in 2023, and then no contest with Chris Curtis. Then he goes and defeats Roman Dolidze, TKOs Jared Cannonier, and beats Brendan Allen in his last fight in September. So, like, pretty impressive little string of wins within the last year. And Adesanya has lost 3 of his last 4, with the one win being over Alex Pereira. It's hard to imagine that Imavov would be a favorite over the former champ here. So is Adesanya the favorite in this fight?
Yeah, minus 162.
Okay. That's probably just respect to the former champ. Look, if this fight were to happen in 2022, Adesanya would be a minus 1,700 easily. But it's not. It's happening in 2024, where we have an Adesanya who has had issues with DUI and who has, kind of seemed like his head wasn't completely in the game, especially, leading up to and after the Sean Strickland fight. And then just kind of got bullied by Dricus du Plessis. I don't know, man. If like a motivated Israel Adesanya shows up, Imavov doesn't have a chance in this fight. But that's kind of the X factor, right? Which Adesanya are we going to get here? So who are you picking?
I think you just talked me into change my pick. But I think Izzy's been
that
looking
never
like
goes well.
Well, okay, then I'm not going to change it. So I think Izzy's looks like in a different gear. He just seems like he's slower, and he's just getting older. And I just think it's the passing of the torch. I don't think it has anything to do with a DUI or any of that. I just think it's simply, he's been to the top, and it's 36 now, 35.
35.
I'm just going to pick Imavov.
He's like right on the cusp. Like this fight is either going to be, he's going to make another run, or we're going to know after it that, he's getting close to the end.
I mean, yeah, it's possible he retires because he thought about it already, but he's been in UFC now for 7 years. He had a long kickboxing career, I think. Pretty sure. He's rich. We know how that goes. And he's not just rich. He's probably in the top 10 richest UFC fighters they've had. I don't know. I just think the time has passed, and Imavov is going to be either getting a title shot next or maybe the second next title shot. But I just think we have a new contender.
He's not in the top 10. It doesn't look like he's in the top 20 of wealthiest UFC fighters, but he's doing well.
Well, but that would be. I don't believe any of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. As far as like disclosed pay in the UFC, he might be.
I mean,
He
there
might
was a
be up
good
there.
2 to 3 years that he was the man.
Yeah, but then are we talking like, net worth, which is something different because that includes anything that he does outside of the UFC?
Like I said, who knows? I know he has property, invest.
Oh yeah,
I don't believe any of that bullshit net worth stuff.
I mean, he's a multimillionaire for sure. Like,
Yeah, he's not Conor
he's
McGregor
doing
rich,
better
but
than.
he's up there.
Yeah, well, nobody's Conor McGregor rich. He's made more than everyone else in the top 10 combined, I think. All right. So you're going with Imavov then?
Yeah, my picks are Mike Davis, Loke Dog or Lock Dog, Vinicius Oliveira, Rosenstruck, MVP, and Imavov.
You're going right down the right side of the page on Sherdog here. They're all straight in a column. All right. Anything you like on the prelims?
But you mentioned Terrence McKinney. I do like him, some of that kid. Other than that, I didn't even look at it.
I don't envy the broadcasters with some of the names on this.
McKinney's
is John Anik doing the broadcast for this?
No.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough night.
Terrence McKinney's a minus 520 favorite.
Over Damir Hadzovic. I'm not familiar with this guy. The Bosnian bomber. All right. 38 years old. You think this is a setup?
Yeah, of course it's a setup. The broadcast team is Laura Sanko and Bisbane. Dan Healy, whoever the hell that is.
Oh, he must be new.
And Alan Joban. I'm sorry.
No, he's not. He's not doing the. He's like on the desk, right?
That's where it's confusing. It says. Yeah. Anyway, those two guys are Healy and Joban are on the desk. Oh well, doesn't matter. This website sucks.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, John Gooden will serve as the leading man from the cage side at UFC Fight Night 250.
Oh, well, John Gooden mispronounces everybody's name, but it's not his fault. It's his accent.
Maybe they did that on purpose.
Yeah, because then they're like, well, if he messes it up, it's just,
It's an accent problem.
He's British.
What do you expect?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. It used to bother me when he would say Gustafsson when Alexander Gustafsson would fight. Or maybe he's saying it right. I don't know.
Maybe. I've turned it's been a while since I watched this with any sound. I just turn it off.
That's true. Yeah, I don't really keep the sound on either. Jasmine Jasudavicius against Myra Bueno Silva. That's a pretty good fight. And then Hamdi Abdelwahab and Jamal Pogues is the first fight. Hamdi is 5-0 with 5 knockouts. Call him Hamdi the Hammer, 265-pound heavyweight.
Whew.
So that could be an interesting one. 5-0, 5 knockouts. All right. I'm sold. I'll watch.
What time is this card?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, look that up real quick.
Prelim starts at 9 a.m. noon main card.
Wow. Okay.
It's a Bill Welker's time slot.
Yeah. The early bird special. Now I can have my early bird dinner at Perkins.
What type of pie did you get?
I don't know. I don't even remember the last time I've eaten at Perkins.
Have you ever been to the Perkins down on Gulf to Bay?
No.
I
Is it good?
No, it's terrible. But my grandpa used to love to go there because, dude, they have the biggest fucking tree there. I don't know what type of tree it is. It's not as big as the one you have in Safety Harbor, but it's the weirdest thing. It's just this giant tree right on like Gulf to Bay in 19.
I don't think I've ever noticed. I've driven past there hundreds of times.
Yeah, well, take a look. A big tree. My grandpa, he'd love to go there. Hey, look at this big tree. I'm like, I know, Grandpa. Every time I take you, we go here, you say, how do you think that it grows that big?
Are they known for their pie at Perkins?
No, it's just a diner. You know, old people. You get dinner, then you get some pie. What's on the pie menu today?
Oh, okay. Whatever they defrosted that day.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Should we talk about your boy?
I don't think we need to talk about Bryce Mitchell because anyone can go look and Google and see what Bryce Mitchell did. But I do have one thing to say about this thing.
Okay.
And all I have to say is that Dana White, again, needs mad props, in my opinion, because he believes in the First Amendment and will call a guy a freaking retard, but say it's his Bryce Mitchell's right to say whatever the hell he wants. And in the words of the late, great Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that.
Is Forrest Gump dead?
Yeah, of course. He got AIDS.
Magic Johnson has AIDS. I can't believe we're talking about the oh wait, did he have AIDS at the end of the movie?
I thought it was implied.
Because he slept with Jenny and Jenny had AIDS?
Mm-hmm.
It's really a fucked up movie if you think about it.
Yes, it is a bad movie. I think they're like, it's so fucked up that they're correcting it. They're putting out like a whole movie that's an alternate ending. I think it already might be out.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. So Bryce Mitchell starts a podcast. He says some ridiculous shit, and like you said, people can go Google it for themselves. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably already heard about it. Dana White came out and said, like, he's one of the dumbest people out there. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. But we live in a world where anybody can have a platform. I mean, this is proof. Here's you and I just, slinging bourbons and talking about MMA. Yeah. Anybody's allowed to have a platform. Is there a line though? Is there, could it get to a point where it's too much and they have to say, like, we need to do something about this?
No.
I think there may be a line, and I think he was kind of tap dancing on it.
Oh, no, you're not going to do this because you're gonna make me defend him.
No, that's not what I'm trying to do. So, look, my thing is, shit. Yeah, maybe I don't want to do this. You know, it's going to be the criticism from the media, though. Here's a quote from this is Yahoo Sports, some dipshit reporter. It seems there's no such thing as being too bigoted or too ignorant to fight in the UFC. Such is the UFC's commitment to letting people say whatever they want without the least hint of consequences. Now, this is going to be the angle of the media, and Dana White is just going to let it roll off his back like, water rolling off a duck. And he's probably the best in the world at that. He's like, yeah, this guy's an idiot, but he could say whatever he wants. And then the comparison would be like an NFL player would face consequences for this, or an NBA player. But, the big difference there is those people are employees of the teams that they're on, whereas UFC fighters are independent contractors. Now it could affect like how they're treated behind closed doors.
Well, that's the point of the First Amendment, is you're allowed to say whatever the hell you want, and you can't be persecuted for it, but you definitely can have negative consequences from your peers from what you say.
Sure. And if you're the UFC, do you necessarily want to put this guy like on a main card where he's going to get interviews, or do you want him to say some dumb, crazy shit because it stirs up headlines and then people want to tune in to see him get his ass kicked?
Maybe. And that's... So, did you see Chael Sonnen is going to do a...
He just took a deep breath and changed the subject.
Yeah. Chael Sonnen and DC are going to coach The Ultimate Fighter. Season 63.
I mean, why? You know what I would be interested in if they did another comeback season, like they did season 4? Like guys that have been cut from the UFC and they're getting another chance. I might be into that. Season 4 was one of my favorite seasons.
I just think it's
run its course.
It's run its, as much as I hate to say it, because I always loved Ultimate Fighter. I think I've only not watched the last 2, but I think the Contender Series just is the next evolvement of that, the purpose of finding fighters for the UFC, and it just works better. It's we don't seem to be, as a society, like needing reality shows like we used to 10 years ago, and it's kind of over that. So we don't really care about all this bullshit. We just want to see who the best fighter is.
Yeah.
I would much rather watch on a Tuesday night, sit and watch a Contender Series for 2 hours and watch 5 fights rather than watch an hour of some antics. And then the last couple seasons of The Ultimate Fighter, you don't even watch the fight. They just give you like the highlights of how it went.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
didn't even watch.
I just rather watch fights.
Yeah. I mean, it was good in the beginning when you had to like kind of get people interested, but now it's like a worldwide sport. It's grown so much since then. The Ultimate Fighter definitely, it humanized the fighters, and it made them seem like, oh, these are actual people with feelings, and they all have backstories, and it's interesting. And now I'm kind of intrigued to see them compete. And then it turned into like, all right, here's 16 more assholes. And like,
it's run its course. It's just, it was great. And, maybe give Bryce Mitchell a reality show.
Yeah. I think if you had Bryce Mitchell coach against Sean Strickland, like maybe we'll get some viewership.
I don't know how good maybe I think they'd probably be on the same team.
No, you got to have them opposite. You got to turn them on each other. It's the only way. Making the walk tuned in and says, "What up, boys? I kind of do think Forrest had AIDS. Jenny was horrible." Yeah, Jenny, what a fucking cunt she turned out to be, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think that they're trying to rewrite history though with that remake, but yeah, that's Jenny's definitely one of the ones that there's several heroes or heroes in movies that you watch back later in life and you're like, I think they were a bad person.
Yeah, I think I saw that movie in the theater when it came out, and I think it was like 11, and I didn't understand a lot of it until I went back and watched it in my 20s.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And I was like, I should not have been watching this movie at 11, I think. But I enjoyed it then. I enjoy it now. I actually went to Savannah, Georgia, and I saw the bench that he sat on. It's kind of cool.
You know, another movie that is like that you should go back and watch is Mary Poppins.
Yeah?
Yeah, you turn on Mary Poppins, and in 10 minutes, you're just sitting there going, what in the hell is this?
Have I watched Mary Poppins lately? It must have come up on the Disney feed. There is some stuff that gets buried in that Disney Plus.
It is. I doubt Disney pushes Mary Poppins because it is dark. That's your homework, Bill.
Mary Poppins.
You only need to watch like the first. Watching to the point that the poor dad is like poisoned and forced to walk the streets with crackheads singing sing-along songs.
Oh, sounds great. Sounds like it could happen in Largo.
Yeah.
My daughter has been asking to go see Wicked in the theater, and I've only hesitated because it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes. But I would like to see it. Wizard of Oz was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and I've seen Wicked 3 or 4 times on Broadway.
Well, I think that movie's been out long enough. It's probably on streaming by now.
Yeah, it might be, but we like going to the movies. And there hasn't been a lot of other good movies coming out. But, you know, she sits through the whole Harry Potter movie, so.
Well, those are old by now. They're classics.
Yeah, I've let her watch up to number 7, I think. And then it started getting a little dark.
You take her to Disney World. That's dark enough. You can let her watch those movies.
Yeah, I mean, what goes on behind the scenes at Disney World is dark. It's worse than the
I think the stuff that goes above the scenes are pretty dark too.
Yeah, it depends, I guess. All right.
Well, we're just like skated around a big hole this whole last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of like brought up Bryce Mitchell and then retracted and then somehow got to Ultimate Fighter.
You can subscribe to our OnlyFans if you're listening and you can hear our real opinions.
I did start to create an OnlyFans, but then I don't know, it got too complicated for me.
Yeah.
It was when OnlyFans was like really trying to push non-sexual content. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with all these pictures of my toes? So
maybe we just can start like a Twitter. Is there like a Twitter? I don't have a Twitter account. I think Twitter has like a live thing that you can do. You can say what you want on there.
Yeah. But I think you have to pay for it, don't you?
I don't know, Bill. I've never been on Twitter.
You've never been on Twitter?
Or X, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, you'll never get to go on Twitter. You missed Twitter. Now it's X.
I think I started an account a long time ago and I was like, this is for old farts.
By the way, I started a few months ago. I brought up something and I said I tweeted and I didn't know what to call it because it's called X now. You can't say you're tweeting. It's called X posting, which seems a lot more complicated.
I don't know why you needed to change the name.
He's an odd dude, man.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, let's not get into that either. We don't need to talk about him. We've had enough almost controversy on the show for one night.
Yep.
Let's just leave it at Jenny's a cunt.
Jenny is a cunt.
And that's as controversial as we'll get. Yeah, so that's about it.
Yep. Pay-per-view next weekend. So
yeah, so we'll have some fun, and I gotta get back into the podcasting realm here. I gotta start doing some more episodes, doing some other things. So I'm gonna start planning that out. And sometime around 2026, I'll be pushing out some great content.
I know Anik and Florian are doing some guest picking again. Maybe you can get on there
and not make picks like
yeah, that's the problem.
But I'm horrible at making picks. That's the thing. As much knowledge as I have about fighting and combat sports, like I've never been good at making picks.
Well, you know, like a good handicapper has like a 40% pick rate. So
oh, all right. Well, maybe
I think you might just hold yourself too high of a standard.
Yeah, maybe.
All you have to do is act like you know what your fuck you're talking about.
Oh, I can do that real good.
And then when your pick's wrong, you're just like, man, it's fight world. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Who saw that coming? Not me. All right.
Later
Let's call it there. That's all we got for this week. Gonna try and do the show a little more consistent and get some more interviews and stuff like that. I got a few things brewing, so we'll see. I have been posting a lot of those distillery tours, so if you're into whiskey, go ahead to the YouTube, and there's a whole playlist of my 2-minute distillery tours. I didn't want to make them too complicated, so I just said, this is where I went, this is what I did there, this is whether I liked it or not, and just give 2-minute recaps of all the places I went. So 2-minute tours is the playlist on YouTube. Go check that out. And if you're not already, subscribe and all that other shit. Find me on social media, whatever. That's all we got. Till next time. Cheers, everybody. Bye.